In this video, we will learn some basic functions available in Google Sheets, and we are using an example here to get it easier for you to understand what is going on. We have a result of 20 students and their marks for 3 different subjects. Our criteria is that passing marks are 40, and the second criteria is that if a student fails in any of the subjects, the result will be F or failed, and we will put this result in this result column. Either we will place F here or we will place a P here, P for pass. And in this example, we want to answer to 5 of our questions from this data, and we also want to perform a task. The task is to put F or P here on auto, and the questions are what is the maximum score in math, and you will learn how to use max function. Then what is the minimum score in science, and the purpose of this question is to tell you that there is also a minimum function available in Google Sheets. Now the third question is how many students got exactly 40 marks. So if you have to check against exact value, how will you do that, and how will you count for any exact value? Then we will perform the action, and this action will be performed by using if statement in Google Sheet. Then the next question is how many students failed in total. So again, failed in total means if a student fails in any subject, he or she will be considered failed. So we have to check across all this range from D2 to F21. Then the last question we want to get answer is what is the second lowest score in English, and this will introduce to you a function called small in Google Sheet, and we will see how we can find the second lowest or third lowest or any position from the bottom. So let's start doing this. So we will write our answers in these columns. So let us start from the easiest one, maximum math score. To find this, we will use a function called max. So whenever you write a formula, you have to start with equal signs, equal max, and then as you can see that it shows you maximum value in a numeric data set. And then we start the parenthesis because it's a function, and because we are looking for math score, this is the range for mathematics. This cell is D2 and the last cell is D21. So either we can type this range or we can select this. So I'm just going to select this here. So as I select this range, as you can see D2 colon D21, it means from D2 to D21 you have to find the maximum value. So very easy. If I close this parenthesis and I press enter, it will find the maximum math score. Similar function is available which is minimum. So we will use this function for science. So minimum, start the parenthesis, and instead of selecting, now I can type F2 colon F21. So F2 colon F21 and press enter, it will find the minimum score in science. Now next I am going to find the answer for second lowest score in English. So instead of minimum, now we are interested in second minimum. So for this we will use a function called small, and we will give it a range, which is for English we can select from here very easily, and then comma, and then we will put the second argument. As you can see here that it is showing you the hint, n is the number from the bottom which you are looking for. So we are looking for second minimum, so our n is 2. If you are looking for third minimum, your n will be 3. So I will just put 2 and press enter, and it will show me the second minimum score in this column. So imagine that if this column has 2000 entries, it will be harder for you to find the second minimum or third minimum. So whenever you are learning Google Sheets, you are trying to find ways to implement these techniques in your own applications. Otherwise, this example is very simplified, but these situations are applicable to your scenarios. So always keep this in mind, that how you can use this technique for your own purpose. Now the next question I want to get answer is number of students who got exactly 40 marks in English. This is also very easy to find by using a function called COUNTIF, which is conditional count. I have explained other counting functions like count and count unique in another video. But in this video, the function which we are using is called COUNTIF, and the way it works is like this: equal sign and then the COUNTIF, which is conditional if function, and then we start the bracket, and then we have to give it a range. So the English range we can select from here to this point, and now comma, and now inside the quotation marks we have to provide the criteria. Our criteria is exactly 40 marks, so our criteria is equal to 40, and then we close the parenthesis. So the answer is only one student in English got exactly 40 marks, and if you scroll down you will be able to point that student, only Daniel K. This is the student who got 40 marks. Now let us say I put another student here with 40 marks. The value the function will return is changed. Now the function is returning value 2 because there are 2 students with 40 marks. Now the next question is number of students failed. So you might be thinking that we can quickly find this by using the conditional count, and we just apply the conditional count on this range D2 to F21 and we will be fine. So let us see what happens if we follow this approach and what is wrong with this approach. So I just click here and I put is equal to COUNTIF. I give it a range and then I just simply say less than 40, and it shows me that 10 students have failed. So now what I do is I just change the first student marks to fail marks. So all 3 subjects, let us change to 39, and now see what happens. Number of students failed moves up to 13. This is wrong because only one student is failing in 3 subjects while our count is increasing by 3. So be careful when you are using any function, and always try to think logically whether that particular function is suitable for this situation or not. So what we can do instead is, so if somehow we could follow this criteria and put F and P in this column, then we can simply count this F or P and we will get the failed student in correct manner. So to do that we have to use if statement. And now let us understand how if statement works in Google Sheet. Now this is how if statement works. If is a function, and in this function within this parenthesis we can put 3 different arguments, and the first argument is a logical expression. Logical expression means an expression which will be evaluated either true or false. Then the second argument is whatever we want if this statement is true, and the third argument is whatever we want if this statement is false. It is important to understand that this must be in the correct order. You first put whatever you want in the situation when this statement is true, and then you put whatever you want in the situation when your logical expression is false. And this is the common source of error. Now here the third option, which is written in white, is optional. You can put only the logical expression and what you do if that expression is true. And if you put only these 2 arguments, you omit the third argument, and the logical expression is false, then the function will return false value and it will put false in that particular cell. So if you want false to be there, then it's fine. If you don't want false to be there and you want an empty thing, then you put a comma here, and in the third argument you put just 2 quotation marks with nothing inside. So we will practice this in a moment, but this is how it works. Now then sometimes we have to nest a if statement inside another if statement, and we will also practice this in this video. And this is how it works. You check the logical expression and you can set in any way, but one way is do this if this is true and skip the rest. So when this is true, only this part will be done, whatever is written here, and then the function will skip the rest, whatever if are written here. And if this statement logical expression is false, then the system will come here and it will check again another if condition, because now this whatever is written in white is acting as the third argument of this if, this first if. And now this third argument itself is a if statement. So it has if, then it has starting bracket and it has ending bracket. So if you look carefully, you will notice that this white portion is basically the third argument of this if function. So if something is true, the function will skip this because it does not have to perform this if checking. But if this condition is false, then system will check this, and then system will see again if whatever is written inside this nested if, system will check this condition, and if this condition is true, system will do this part, do if true. And if this condition check this is false, then the system will do the second part which is written here, do if false. So this is how a nested if works, and now we will practice all this in our sheet. Let us assume that this is a student with 39 marks, and I want to check if the marks of any student are 39, I want to change it to 40. I want to give him a 1 grace mark because he is just failing by 1 mark. So how can I do that? I say equals if, and then I check this, F4 equals 39, then change it to 40. Very simple. If I press enter, it will change it to 40. Now if I apply this formula to all the other cells, see what happens. The system is putting false wherever this value is not 39, and wherever the value is 39, the system is putting 40. I don't want this. What I want here is that if this number is not 39, then whatever is this number should be written here. So how can I modify this? I can put the third argument, and now I can put F4 here, press enter, and now if I drag this to and apply this to whole column, as you can see that wherever it is 39, it's changed to 40, but if not, then the same value is written in this column. So this is the difference between using 2 arguments or 3 arguments. In some situations, you only want to put a blank here, and if you want to put a blank, instead of putting the same number, you just put 2 quotation marks with empty. And now we are going to find whether a student is considered failed or pass, and we are filling P or F on this column. To do that, we will be using nested if. So is equal if, you can write either lowercase or uppercase. Let's type this time uppercase, and we start this if statement. And now our starting point is this one, which is D2, and we say that if D2 is less than 40, put F here. If not, then check for E2. So we say another if, and now this time we say E2 is less than 40 or not, because we have to check all the subjects. And now we say if this is true, that put F. If the student fail in this subject, put F. If not, then check the third one, which is F2. And if F2 is less than 40, the student fails, put F here. And if not, if all of this is false, then put P. And now we have to close this bracket, the first one. As you can see, this is highlighted. The pair of this bracket here is highlighted. Then I have to close the second if. And as you can see, now this is highlighted, showing me that still I have to close the first one. the pair of this bracket is here, so now everything is fine. If I press enter, it will show me F here because this student has failed in all of the subjects. But remember, our system only checked the first one, and as soon as system got this D2 less than 40, the system did not check any of these. The system straight away put F here. This is how this if works, as I explained earlier. The system will only go inside when the first condition is not met. It means if the student is passed in math, then the system will check for English. If he passes in English, then the system will check for science. And now if I drag this, as you can see that it is working perfectly fine. This student passes all the subjects. This student fails in only one, and fail is written here. Now this is working perfectly fine. Now you might be thinking that if I put greater than 40 here, for example, let's change this to greater than 40, and I say if student gets greater than 40, put a P. Otherwise check for the other next result, greater than 40, put P. Not check for the next result, greater than 40, put P, otherwise put F. Now see what happens. Now this seems that it is working, but when I move this to the end and apply this to all cells, you will see that it's not working, because it will only work if a student fails in all subjects. This is what you are checking here. So if the criteria was this, that if a student fails in all subjects, then the student will be considered fail, then we will be checking by using this greater than 40 condition. But our criteria was any, so therefore we have to check less than 40 condition in this type of implementation of if statement. So you should be careful and you should understand how logic works. The second argument is when the condition is true. The third argument when the condition is false. This order is very important, and this is the common source of error. And now the last thing in this video is see how this result can be corrected now. Number of students failed. So what we can check is we can simply check the count of F here while using the correct formula. So let us undo this. And now that our result column is fixed with correct F and P written inside, we are able to find the number of students failed by simply counting F in this column. So we can use the same COUNTIF function, but this time our range is G2 to G21, and the thing which we are looking for is not less than 40 but simply F. And if I press enter, now we get the correct number of failed students. Now this was it for this video, and the most important lesson you should take from this video is that when you are using any function, you should think logically whether this function will work in this situation for you or not, whether it will give you the intended results or not. And to understand that, you must understand the syntax of the function, where you have to put the range, where you have to put the criteria, and what should be the sequence of the arguments in a function. So these three things are critical for you to understand.